The importance of recognising the efforts of these first submariners is vital.
This was really one of the most significant things because that was the first time that the Australians had actually left Australia with their own ships, with their own command, to take a foreign power, and that's really where the military history belongs.
And the first amphibious attack.
It was the first expeditionary force to ever leave Australia under its own command.
This, of course, was Deutsche New Guinea, which belonged to the Germans, and it was administered by a German governor who actually resided in Rabaul. So the strategy was to come up here and capture the radio station intact as possible, and to have the governor hand over the territory to Australia. This was the first operation, as it were, of Australian troops and sailors against the Germans in World War I.
The first 5 Australian soldiers that were ever killed in the First World War were killed in Rabaul here, when they were taking the German radio station out of Bitapaka. Very few people realise this.
AE1 did have problems. She had problems with her steering, with propellers. She had an inclining problem where she couldn't dive properly, and they hoped that they'd actually get these problems fixed up when they arrived out here. As far as I know, they never did the inclining trials again, went straight off to war.
And at 3:20 in the afternoon, he was very close to the submarine, and the submarine asked him, "What is the visibility distance?" And to which Parramatta replied, "About 5 miles." And then Parramatta then proceeded on to the southeast again, and the submarine appeared to be moving southwest as if he was heading home, which he should have been doing at that time. Well, there's a mystery, and everybody's been trying to figure this out for years. What I fear has happened is that he's run into either some difficulties with his steering, which is not altogether surprising because they had very basic steering in those days. Everything was mechanical, and it is entirely possible that he could have had a major steering breakdown, which would have, in the currents, the prevailing currents, made it very difficult to maintain control. I believe that the submarine is on the bottom in about 50 fathoms, or 50 metres of water, off the island of Myoko, which is one of the Duke of York group, which is to the east of Rabaul. He's very close to the track, or the route that AE1 would have had to take in to get back to harbour. It was his first, what I would call, hazardous point he would have had to round. One was to conduct my own intelligence, again to try and find out if any of the local people, who are these days much better educated, had any stories that were handed down to them through the last couple of generations about any submarine that was seen.
I heard from my grandfather. He told me that the submarine is from Australia.
That's right.
It's an Australian submarine.
That's right. Yeah.
He said he told me that the submarine went down somewhere on there.
Yeah.
But the submarine was still flowing.
Yes.
And then from there, it just stopped somewhere on there.
So see, I think we're on the right track.
Yeah.
I mean, no one would know precisely where he went down. But Peter Lakaki from Milmilla.
From Milmilla.
Yeah.
He's from here.
You from Milmilla?
He's from here.
Yeah, he lives in Milmilla. He's a Myoko man, yes, I know.
He's a Myoko
but he
man.
works for Father Bernie.
Milmilla.
Yeah, yeah. He told me he saw the submarine off William Reef when he was diving for Trocus. He and his brother and another man.
And I myself have never seen this before. Submarines myself. Corals that were all
over.
Yeah.
You saw the propellers?
Yeah, I saw the propellers.
And the conning tower?
The conning tower, I saw the conning tower.
2 periscopes, I think.
That goes.
to swim anywhere because the current's too strong. Yeah. I mean, it's like a gale down there.
Can you see the bottom? Quick.
Man.
Big one, was it?
Not one. Like 50? White tips, black tips. Sorry mate, there's stuff down there. You got the wrong man. As soon as you started going down, there's sharks everywhere.
How do you feel, son? You're alive.
Yeah, but God, my heart's still racing. That was not fun. Didn't enjoy that. I wish you guys could have seen it.
How many were there? How many were there?
I don't know, a lot. Everywhere you looked there was a shark. And lots of fish, and it scared the out of me. And in.
And they were coming at you?
Coming straight at us. I swear to God, and nothing, and normally the white tips or the grey tips, they piss all through when they see you. Coming right at us. No thank you.
They want to protect something.
Well, that's entirely possible.
Yeah, I think the AE1 is there, where the sharks are yesterday.
What was the feeling like when they came at you?
The sharks?
Yeah.
Feeling like losing my life yesterday.
It seemed to me that, from my own experience in the service, that these reef sharks and other sharks in schools tend to congregate in reef areas or in the areas of wrecks. So we really need to have another look at this position. We've established a datum where we believe it is. We know that wherever it is, it's probably AE1 from the description given to me by the local people. We could solve the mystery if we were given the right equipment and the right support. But the Australian nation deserves to know what happened to its first submarine. Those men were pioneers of the current submarine service, the Collins class. These are the first 35 men of our Navy that was sacrificed in wartime, and that sacrifice has hardly been recognised over the generations, and it should be included in the Anzac Day celebrations.
To coin a phrase from Clive Cussler, she's out there whispering, so I think she wants to be found and wants to get the story finished.